Hey everyone, welcome back to another Slime Fun filled episode with your host Boomer. Oh my gosh, am I pumped. I am so excited. I know we've been doing a lot of talking about plugin updates, right? Well, the devs apparently have all gotten excited because a lot of them are producing a lot of new material and it's really getting hard to stay caught up 100%. Not just with updates on stuff that already exists, but with all the new features, a few new plugins. It's getting challenging keeping track and keeping you guys up to date and everything, but we're going to do another Dynatech today because we have 9 new things to talk about, and I really want to get to them. Before we do, we're trying to figure out where we're going to put some of this stuff because we're down in the basement here of the house, and she's full. We come up to the main floor, and she's full. And by the way, I'm getting worried. My climate is up almost 2 degrees. I'm hoping I can figure out what the problem is and get that going again. Up here on the 3rd floor, we are completely packed, guys. We are out of room. Our house has far surpassed our ability to really add new things. I mean, I suppose I could here, but then that's going to leave a pretty narrow. I guess we can add right here. It's really tight. You know, or we could add it right here, but again, it gets really tight. And the chicken engineering barn is pretty full. There's not really much room to put things in there. And so what I think I'm going to end up doing, because I really don't use anything in here, is we're going to start adding our own additions to this room. We're going to go ahead and wipe out everything. Get all the basic machines out of here, I think. And this is where we'll start storing new items. But I guess first, we need to clean house, and then we'll talk about what's going on in Dynatech. I'll be right back. So you're probably wondering, Boomer, where's the build? I mean, we cleared everything out, right? I had every intention of making a storage facility for every item that these growth chambers could produce. And so I went online, went to the GitHub, started looking into the code, and realized just how many there were. You aren't going to believe just how much storage I would have had to have built to house every item that can come out of these growth chambers. And this is all I built. Half an hour later of looking at these things, realizing that you don't need anything else in the game. If you want to talk about crop farming, villager farms are a thing of the past. I'm going to say this definitely rivals Infinity Expansion to an extent. At least it'll definitely beat the basic growers. It'll beat the advanced growers. I'm not sure. I think the Infinity would probably win. But when we talk about farms, I got to tell you guys, we got to dig right in here, okay? Now, these are growth chamber 2s. Just to give you an example, you can put 7 different items up here, right? We can put in a netherite plant. We can put in a vine. We can put in cocoa beans. Actually, there are 73 items you can put into a growth chamber. I'll just give you a few. We put some in. Netherite plants. All the exotic gardens. All of them. So actually, I miscalculated. It's more than 73. I only included the plants and the bushes. I forgot to include the essence plants. So there's like 90 some odd items you can put into the growth chambers. And you can see how fast they're functioning. And everything yields a little bit different. It all depends on what the item is. But generally, it's somewhere around 3 times. Like you can see, for example, when you harvest a cocoa bean in vanilla, you get 3 back. Well, here, you're getting 9 back, so it's 3 times the vanilla yield. Now, the exotic garden, it does yield the 1 essence for the 1 plant. But all your farms, cocoa beans, pumpkin, beetroot, wheat, apples. You can farm apples, for crying out loud. Grass. Actual planted grass, not blocks. Planted grass. Tall grass. Ferns, large ferns, vines. Oh my gosh, is vine farming with shears one of the most annoying things in the world? you can find farms. All 17 flowers, including the death flower. I forget the rose, the wither rose. You can farm those in here, right? Carrots, potatoes, sugarcane, carrots, all tree saplings, and you will get logs back as well as tree saplings in all of Exotic Garden. I mean, it's crazy. And you look at the speed this thing is going. She thought of everything. There's no question about it. I don't know what else we could put in here, but like I said, I think the count, I'm up to 91 or 92. I have to go back and count all the Exotic Garden essence plants, but I think I'm at about 92. Let's move on. So think about it. I would have had to set up 92 storage chests, link them all up. No. Not today. Let's move on. Ender growth chamber. This one is real simple. There's one. Chorus flowers. The whole goal here is to produce chorus flowers. Now I am showing you the level 2 of all these. So for the chorus chamber, it's going to yield flowers and it's going to yield fruit. That's it. Real simple, right? All end plants? Well, unless Mojang came out with a new end plant that I missed in an update recently, that's it. What about Nether? All right, well, there's 7 plants that I've been able to identify that grow in a Nether growth chamber. The Nether sprouts, the weeping vine, the crimson root, the warped root, the crimson fungus, the warped fungus, and the twisting vine. The crimson fungus, one of them gave me back 6 fungus, 18 stem, 12 shroom light, and 12 nether wart block. Based on another wart tree, you know, the crimson trees in the nether, that's probably comparable to what you get for a yield for one. Same thing, the warp fungus gave me 18 stem and 12 warp block, and then one of each of these gave me 12. That's a lot. And to me, that seems like a lot, and at the speed I got this, I don't know. Maybe you guys tell me what you think. Here, I'll just show you. Watch how fast the nether sprouts come through. 1, 2, 3 seconds, so I've got 12 nether sprouts. Who needs bone mealing farms for this stuff, right? I mean, what they're doing in vanilla, can't touch this. No, we're not going to do that. Anyways, so those are the 7 I've been able to identify for the nether. There might be something else that I'm missing, but that's all I could identify in the nether one. The ocean growth chamber is all of the coral. So I believe there's 15 different corals. You've got the blocks, you've got the tubes, and you've got the fans. And then also the seagrass. And I'm pretty sure pickles would be in this mess. Let's find out, right? Let's... what am I missing here? Oh, I'm not in creative, that's why. Let's get a sea pickle, right? Can we do sea pickles? I want a pickle. Let's stick in a pickle. Yes, we can do sea pickles. So I'm sure I'm missing 1 or 2 other things from the ocean as well. The point is that she's thought of just about everything. So to set up this entire room would probably take the better half of a day. I'm willing to bet you by the time we identified every single thing, because I'm sure I've missed a few, if we were to go through and plant, you know, every single thing that would be in here, see if there's anything else, right? So we've got, yeah, I did miss. I also missed the dead coral fans too. So there's 5 more that I missed. And you can bring them all back to life, by the way. It worked beautifully. Redstone, no. Let's see. What would we have in here? I don't know about any of the fish. I didn't try any of the fishing to see if those would come out of the ocean. Let's see. Let's grab a shard. Let's try. Let's just see if these are things that would be in here. I'm hoping. Yeah, okay, good. So these are not. Okay. So it's just plants is what it looks like, not actual life. Hats off. I mean, everything worked perfectly. There's a lot. And so the question then becomes, is each individual one OP? Well, let's look at the crafting recipes before we try to decide that. All right, so we know what a regular growth chamber is. a crop growth accelerator, a tree growth accelerator, and a couple hardened glass. So there is some price to it. In a smaller one, it runs a lot slower. That's okay. Then we look at the accelerated chamber, 4 steel plates, and 2 growth chambers. So you got to double the growth chamber. You know, you got to get 2 of them to get the one that runs 3 times as fast with a little bit extra. And based on how versatile the machine is, keep in mind you also have 7 different slots. And you can cycle this and loop this over and over. So if I set up a cocoa bean, right, give me a cocoa bean here. Watch this. Let's put a cocoa bean in a node. This will start cycling cocoa beans over, and I could split this going round robin, that when that top chamber fills up here, it'll start filling this. What I can do is have it pull out from here, round robin it into a storage unit, but one will always come back up here, right? So this wouldn't matter. This would all get pulled out. But I'm cycling it right now, and every time it creates one of them for sure loops back up. Now, right now they all are, but you could self-sustain it. So you could set up one of these for every single item, or I even figured out a way to do this one at a time. If I were to pull this all out round robin into 7 different dispensers and then go into storage facilities from there. So if the 7 dispensers fill up, once you've got them filled, you have a redstone pulse, fire all 7, right? And you have them come in on a different channel, out on channel 1, in on channel 2. From the 7 dispensers, they could go into a chest, which then would pull one of all 7 items in here. And then they'd funnel through all 7. The 7 items would go out back into the dispensers and your storage facilities. So if, let's say, this thing could hold, processes 105 different plants, 15 of these, and you've got everything that can run. Damn. Cost-wise, I think they should be a little bit more pricey on the crafting, or a little bit less on the yield. I'd be in favor of a higher price to craft. For the level 2, either a blistering ingot or a carbonado capacitor, something to give it a little bit more price, but I still love the concept. I love the idea. What about some of these other ones here? Let's go into the end one. Well, that's the wrong one. So again, 2 growth chambers. That's critical. I do appreciate that. Steel plates, maybe 2 reinforced, or like I said, a carbonado capacitor. Just my own personal suggestions. Again, Prof, you don't have to follow what I do. I'm just giving feedback on these. But looking at the growth chambers for the Nether, it's the same principle. Same thing, just a little bit pricier to craft at the level 2. Whoops. And I'm pretty sure we're going to see the same thing on the ocean one. Yep, level 2. So consistency was good. And you know what? I like that she used blocks that are related to the ocean or to the Nether or to the end. That these were comparable to what you would find in the end. So I thought that's good. I really do appreciate those being in there. All right, one other thing. Let me get set up. We're going to drop, to me, is just incredible. It reminds me of another version of Minecraft that a lot of you have probably played. Alrighty guys, I have been so looking forward to this. The very first time I saw this, my thought was Skyblock. What you're seeing on the screen right now reminds me of a Skyblock cobblestone generator. I even was going to create a Skyblock Slimefun world just for that purpose. I decided not to. But as you can see, we are generating ores in survival, because we have something in Dynatech called the Orchid. Let's look at it. The Orchid uses stone or netherrack to power and make ores. And you've got all the vanilla ores. You've got gold, iron, coal, diamond, emerald, redstone, and lapis. And if you use netherrack, you've got nether quartz, nether gold ore, ancient debris, basalt, and blackstone. How is that for a treat? And you look at the price of this thing: 3 ender runes, 2 magical lump trees, a wither rose, a reinforced plate, 2 hardened metal. I think that's fair, because not only can this do one at a time, this was the most basic build I could come up with to fully automate it 100%. So what we have here is a basic cobblestone generator. All right? You guys are probably familiar with this one. If I remember right, this one is from, let's see. Well, I can't even begin to type. The cobblestone generator we're using, is Infinity Expansion's basic machines. We have an electric furnace, that way I didn't have to provide a fuel source, and it turned cobble into stone. Using cargo, we're bringing it down to the block placer, using STB's redstone clock to fire it, and we have an android, a miner android, and his code is set. Let's go in here to the script. Dig forward, wait 2.5 seconds right now. It should probably be 3, and then repeat. So here's what I'm talking with the dev, that approximately every 10 seconds it can generate up to 8 ores. But I'm only doing 1, so it's going to be a little bit faster. So when we get this next gen, I'm going to try to show this to you. Here we go. All right. So the more stone it's got around it, it's going to take a little bit longer. But isn't that beautiful? Oh, and the nice thing about it is that it doesn't generate cobblestone. Every one of them that within that time frame will produce an ore. It is 100% ore, no cobble. Now, the only reason I'm going to get cobble into the Android is because I didn't have the timing right. I've now set it to every 3 seconds after it mines. So it's going to mine the diamonds. Okay. Now it's got a 3-second wait to give the one ore grinder or the one orchid a chance to generate ore. Again, this is 100% fully automated with the exception of I didn't set up an Android fuel or item interface. Because the Android only has 6 slots, including cobble, there's 8 different things it can mine. So you have a couple of choices here. You can let that go because whatever it doesn't pick up disappears into thin air. Right? I'll pick all this up. We don't have lapis. Guess what? There's no lapis on the ground when it mined that last block. The other one we don't have that I'm not seeing in here is diamonds. So any lapis or diamonds right now that it mines will disappear. It's not a bug. There's only 6 slots. So watch this diamond get mined. There's no diamonds on the ground. There's no diamonds in the Android. If I pull out any one of these, diamonds don't magically appear. So the other option is to run the code in the Android 6 times. Okay? So I can say dig forward, wait 5 seconds, dig forward, wait 5 seconds. Do that 6 times. Then transfer the items, pull fuel, and repeat. That would be what we would have to do to guarantee getting everything. Oops, I got to start it back up. Okay? So this is, like I said, the most basic, fully automated version I could do. Now, you can also convert stone into netherrack through the electric composter. So I could also have this leading into an electric composter into another block placer with netherrack, and I would get the 5 different nether items that we identified. So for the nether one Android could go until the commands run out. For the overworld one, because there is 8, you can get it down to 7 if you were to make the code long enough to where cobble would never appear. Well, then you'd be down to 7. You'd have to be willing to risk losing 1 out of those 7 every single time it ran its cycle. And if you're fine with that, great. Fill the commands up as far as you can possibly go, which realistically, to wait 3 seconds in between each one, that's 7 commands. You could run it 7 times and then push and pull, and that's it. So you might as well just wait, right? And run it at the end of it anyways. It's 6 versus 7, you know? So depending on how you do it. Now, could you set up multiple orchids, multiple block placers like this, and with multiple androids? Absolutely you could. One android can only break 1 block. So there are some other options. You could set up a old-fashioned vanilla stone generator using a ton of pistons to push them around, and you could literally push it, you know, from underneath. You could push straight up to get 8 blocks around the orchid. just put the Orchid at the height of the reach of the stone generator. If you built it right, you could get this build to where it would push up 8 blocks around it. Now, as far as the androids, you'd have to get a little creative in the placing to be able to mine all 8 and have item interface and fuel interfaces for each android. But it could be done. Like I said, you just got to get a little creative in where you place them. I would love to see somebody to take a little bit of time and effort and build a stone generator with the Orchid. I'd love to see somebody get creative and actually build it. And here's what I'm going to challenge. That on my Discord server, and the links are in the description, go onto the builds channel, and I want to see your uploads, and I'm going to send them over to Dev just as inspiration and say, look at what the community's been doing with your development. That would be awesome to be able to go back and see someone who's got some creativity who could make this happen. So, guys, we're going to wrap this up here. I want to thank you again, as always, for watching. We've got a lot that Dynatech has brought up, and I know there's even more coming. I've seen some of the sneak peeks in the code. I know there's other things that she's working on that we're looking forward to. But as always, when you're playing Minecraft, you've got to go boomer or you got to go home. We'll see you later. Man, I can't wait to build something massive. This is going to be fun.